Hi all, this is Becky Foster from Morning Bright Yarn and Fiber Company, and today I'm going to show you how to cast on in the alternating long-tail German twisted cast on method. It's a great method when you're casting on for a ribbed edge or seed stitch. It's extremely stretchy and sturdy. Here I've got a sample of 2x2 rib, and this is the cast on edge, and you can see that it's attractive and very, very stretchy. It's not a complicated cast on at all, especially if you already know how to do the cast on, the German twisted cast on, because you're only going to alternate that with a regular long tail cast on. But for those of you who don't know how to do a German twisted cast on, I'm going to demonstrate that for you. So with the German twisted cast on, you begin very similar to a regular long tail, where you somehow predict how much yarn you're going to need for whatever your number you're casting on for, except you want to add a little more yarn. It takes maybe 20% more yarn to do the German twisted cast on because of that extra twist. That makes it a little thicker and sturdier of a cast on than the regular long tail. So to begin, you're going to start with a slip knot, like you would for a regular long tail, and you're going to hold your yarn like a slingshot with the tail in the front and the working yarn in the back. So you're going to go under both strands coming off the thumb and pull the needle through the triangle created, and then you're going to pull the needle to the back of the strand coming off your index finger, and then through the little triangle that makes. Around both, through the space, around this one, and through the triangle. Tighten it up. Watch the tip of the needle. It's going to go behind both coming off the thumb, through the space between, around and over the strand coming off your index finger, and then through the little space. This one takes some practice. It'll take a while before you remember it. Maybe. You might have to come back and watch next time you work on a project. But I can assure you that you can master it, and with practice you can do it pretty quickly without thinking about it much. So as you can see, the German twisted cast on produces a row of pearl looking stitches, as opposed to a regular long tail cast on where the stitches are flat like knit stitches. So this is a great cast on to use if you're going to be working in garter stitch, for instance. It makes a really nice stretchy cast on that looks really nice with a garter stitch cast on. It's also great, like I said, for anything worked in the round, for socks, for hats. Makes a nice thick, stretchy, sturdy edge. So now I'll show you how to alternate it with the regular long tail to make a nice cast on for ribbed. So here's the regular long tail. And you can see how there's the extra bump for the German twisted. So these are the regular long tail, and these are the German twisted. These resemble pearl stitches more so than the long tail. So when I cast on for ribbing or for seed stitch, and I'm going to be alternating in the edge, I like to alternate in my cast on. So to do a knit purl rib 1-1, I would cast on with a regular long tail and then, sorry, and then a German twisted, and a regular long tail, and a German twisted. And that's how I would do my whole cast on. So that when I come back to work the stitches, I've got a knit stitch, a purl stitch, a knit stitch, a purl stitch, a knit stitch, a purl stitch, and it alternates. It's subtle, it's not very fussy, it's uncomplicated, but it does make a difference. It does make a stretchier edge, and it is attractive, which is what I like to go for in an edge. Now if you look closely, you can tell the difference. It is one of the tricky parts is that as you're casting on, you have to keep track of the number, which can get especially complicated, say if you're knitting a purl 1 knit 3 edge and you have to make, count to 100. So you have to remember to do 1 and then 3 and then 1. And you have to be counting to 100 at the same time. So if you lose count, you really want to be able to study your stitches and know which ones are which, because if you lose count, it'll be much easier to see if you made a mistake or to recognize which stitch you're on. So you can see the German twisted, like I said, has an extra bump. So it's got sort of a purl ridge above the regular looking stitch, where the knit stitches have just that one bump. So you need to be able to read your stitches for this, because like I said, it can get complicated depending on the kind of ribbing you're casting on for. But usually it's fairly simple, especially with a 1-1, because you're doing, say, all your long tail stitches as a odd number and all your German twisted as an even. So there you go. That's how to do the alternating long tail German twisted cast on.